times. And then he goes ahead to call them a wicked and adulterous generation, etc., etc., yeah? My beloved, a prophet, till today, is a person looked at as, a person who can tell you about the future, or at least about the times that we are living in. Are you agreeing with me? Yes. By the way, this is not such a biblical concept of a prophet, if you check what a prophet role is really about. A prophet is really a teacher who brings God's word to the crowds. A prophet is a revolutionary, or reformator, yeah? Like Martin Luther, okay? Who his heart burns within him to bring you back to the original message. And the prophets of old brought the people, they did not really want to deal with the future events. They first dealt with their own people. Did you know it? They first wanted to teach their own people what they lost, the original message, of the Torah back then. Actually, it's also now. My beloved, a prophet in the New Testament, not changing his role, but there are some other things which are added to his role, like edifying, building the body, etc., etc. But not necessarily telling the future. Did you know it? But back then, they fell into the same trap like we all do. Oh, Rami, you come from Israel. Probably you have the best, perfect doctrine about the end times. Please tell us exactly when it will be, with dates, of course. Don't forget the dates. So we will prepare. Tell us about Y2K, right? Tell us about the oil spill. What does it mean really prophetically? Tell us about the volcano in Iceland or wherever it was, yeah? No, friends, I'm not here to tell you all this, friends. You know why? Because I simply don't know. But I believe that God called me to show you, to share with you the big picture, the principles of God. So you will learn to put the emphasis where emphasis should be put. And the emphasis should not be put on creeds, what you believe in. Guess what? The demons believe as well. Whether you are Baptist, Pentecost, Messianic Jews, who cares? Who cares what you believe in? Show me what you believe in. By your deeds, okay? Show me, show Yeshua, show God, okay? So, my job is to show you the connection between world events, especially in the Middle East, and you could see that it's not our problem alone. Iran is not our problem. Even not Syria, by the way. Because Israel made a vow to herself. The next time, or any time that they will be attacked with unconventional, weapons, they will not let themselves be gassed like in the Holocaust. Are you with me? It will be a chain reaction. So even if Iran is stopped with their nuke program, and even whatever, yeah, still Israel is your problem. Still the psalm that I just read, Psalm 83, has to do with you and not only with us there. Amen. What's the connection with you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God? Did you notice that it was the very first time Yeshua, HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, is asking his disciples, whom do you think I am? Of course, whom do people say I am, yeah? But who do you say I am? Did you notice that Yeshua did not ask it in Matthew chapter 2, 3? Did you notice that he did not do it when he gave the Sermon on the Mount? Are you still awake? Why? Why he waited till he was in the region of Caesarea Philippi? Not yet, Jonathan. Okay? Why then? My beloved, because of the following. When you check Yeshua's life, the earthly ministry of Yeshua, you can see that it can be divided mainly into three parts. Part one, I call it the hidden part. From his birth on to age of about 30. You remember? Does somebody know about Yeshua in this period? Yes. Nobody knows about him, only his parents and his friends in Nazareth. Right? No internet, no Facebook. Right? Nobody knows about Yeshua. No CNN, shmiennen. You just try to see if you're awake. My beloved, only his parents, his relatives, I mean, he's not, and even those who know him, not such a special child, Special child at the age of 12, you remember? He goes to the temple, but even then it's not yet the Messiah. Am I right? Again, the hidden stage. Are you following? Second stage is exactly when he started his ministry, okay, at the Jordan Valley, at the Jordan River, okay, being baptized, of course, baptized by the Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit, and then led to the desert, and then after his experience in the desert, he started his ministry. You agree with me? And this is stage number 2, the stage I call blessing, or blessings. He was a blessing to everyone he touched or addressed, whether by words or by deeds, right? He touched the blind, they got healed. He touched the leper, he got cleansed. He spoke words of life. He was a blessing to everybody. Yet there was another stage. I wish it would stop here, because most of the Christian church, the Western church, like me to stop here and say, okay, thank you. Stage number 3 is starting here. This is the turning point. Matthew 16. Are you following? Because this is the time that he will tell them, you know what? Why should I quote him if I can just read what he said, yeah? In verse 21, Matthew 16:21. From that time, which time? From that time, Peter's confession. You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. Yeshua began to show his disciples that he must, notice, he must. It's not an option. He must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things from the elders and chief priests and scribes and be killed and be raised the 3rd day. This is stage number 3. Okay, stage number 1, the hidden one. Nobody knows Yeshua. Stage number 2, the blessing one. Everybody knows him and attracted to him because he blesses them. It's profitable to be around Yeshua in the second stage, right? Yet stage number 3 is turning the face towards Jerusalem like a flint, focus on Jerusalem and walk whatever the cost is. And not only this, we know what the cost is. Crucify, crucify. Walk on this cross, be hanged on this cross, die, be buried, and on the 3rd day be resurrected, right? Those are the 3 stages in Yeshua's life. Now, my beloved, I told you last time I was here, I differentiate between the Greek mindset and the Hebraic mindset. You remember? I'm the Alpha, I'm the Omega. I told you it's cyclical and not linear, if you remember. If not, purchase the CD if it still exists. Because I don't have the time, Pastor Pat was generous enough to give me only till 2 p.m. So it's not enough time. I'm almost done. I mean, give me some grace, okay? I take rabbi's trails, Okay, beloved, where was I? Bring me back to track, yeah? Thank you. Nothing is new under the sun, right? Not only that nothing is new under the sun, who is the one that the scriptures tell us clearly that we should follow in his footsteps? Come on. Yeshua, right? So, will it sound strange to you if I will tell you that if we are to follow Yeshua's footsteps, we are not stopping at stage 2? Because his footsteps continued to Jerusalem. We cannot just stop and say, oh, Yeshua, dear Yeshua, here we did what you asked us to do. We followed your footsteps, but we still have eye contact with you. Beloved, following the footsteps of Yeshua is following the footsteps of Yeshua all the way. Yes or no? Now, my beloved, did you know that Israel Messiah and his nation, Israel, are parallel in scriptures. There are many, many similarities and parallelism between Israel, the nation, and their Messiah. I will give you, by 2 or 3 witnesses, everything should be established, right? So let me help you so you will not look at me like I fell from the moon. What do I mean Israel and her Messiah are almost equal or parallel? My friends, who is called before Messiah came? Before Messiah came 2,000 years ago. Who was called in scriptures God's firstborn? You see it? This is the one witness. Who was called out of Egypt? I will give you another witness. Who was called to be a light to the nations? Yet I will give you another one. By 4 witnesses everything shall be established. Do you see the similarities? Who was called the servant of God? Israel. All of those 4 are the same calling upon Yeshua. Yeshua is God's firstborn. Yeshua was taken out of Egypt. Yeshua was called God's servant, right? Yeshua was called to be a light to the nations. You see the point, right? Are you ready for the surprise? When Yeshua was almost crucified, Pontius Pilate brings a bowl of water, remember, outside. He washes his hands and he says, I have nothing to do with his blood, yeah? Or something like this. I paraphrase it. I'm not guilty of his blood. What do they say? The elders back then? And the elders are representing their subjects, their people. When a king of Israel or Judah sinned, all his people suffered. Do you remember? Don't take it lightly, Pat. Pastor Pat. We have a high responsibility. Okay? Now, my beloved, what did they tell him when he washed his hand? Exactly. Not only on our, but on us. Let his blood be on us and our children. Kill him, crucify. They did not know what they said. We are created in the image of God. Life and death are in the world, in our lips. God created everything by the word. He said and it was done, right? It became. Friends, that's why we can kill each other by the tongue. We create things. And scientifically it was proved, by the way. Okay, when you speak positive things, it has good influence on yourself and on the one that you spoke. Versus negative things, etc., etc. But my beloved, they did not know what they do. No wonder on the cross he said, forgive them, Father, because they don't know what they do. Many of us don't know what we do. Amen. And because of lack of knowledge, my people perish. My friends, you know that Israel continued to follow in their Messiah's footsteps. Israel, the non-believing, without even knowing it. Because about 40 years after Messiah was crucified, buried, and resurrected and ascended to heaven, you know what happened in the year 70? Temple was destroyed. Israel as a nation. The non-believing Israel entered stage number 3 in Yeshua's life. Are you following? Number 3? The hidden one. Nobody knew about them. They were dispersed over I don't know how many countries. I mean, who knows? No king, no authority, no government, no nothing. Then came stage number 2, where Israel became a blessing to the nations with modern Zionism. Israel, first of all, was a great blessing to the land of Israel, which was neglected by the Muslims who controlled it before, the Turks. Yeah? They actually bloomed the desert. If you don't know what I'm talking about, ask Shelley, Pastor Shelley, and others who came with me today. Even the desert is blooming in Israel.